into a never-ending search for more problems to solve.
I need more problems.
Problems that don't exist. They're just finding new ones. And no evolution in technology represents this wasteful, pointless endeavor more than artificial intelligence, or just AI, which is obviously just a catch-all for everything related to artificial intelligence, from the boring stuff that's been silently helping us for years to the slop served up by chatbots and image generators. It's a weird balance, because when some issues arise, you could see the potential for AI being used, before ultimately realizing that in most cases, the product is once again solving a problem that doesn't exist. Take, for instance, the elusive, perfect AI lawyer. In the months since the spread of chatbots in particular, we've seen AI mess things up for real lawyers in court cases where they trusted the bot to come up with arguments based on cases that, whoops, didn't even exist. Now, one guy, however, recently decided to take things a step further, and we promise you that it only gets weirder from that.
So Jerome DeWald decided to seek representation where no one in their right mind would think to look. Not just a lawyer who uses chatbots to argue cases, a lawyer who is entirely AI. Not just that, Mr. DeWald got an AI avatar that attempted to look exactly like him so that he can represent him in a lawsuit that he himself initiated. Apparently, in order to show everyone how cool his little startup is.
Yeah.
How it's going to change the world by giving a voice to the voiceless.
Yeah, it appears as though he initiated a lawsuit so that he could have his own AI lawyer represent him in that lawsuit, seemingly wasting everyone's time. And that is how the judges react.
Yeah, this was a test case, a test legal case. First of all, he couldn't pull off an avatar that looked just like him in time for the court appearance, so he just went with some generic dude named Jim.
Just the standard template of an AI avatar.
Yeah. Either way, the judge in the case did not think that it was very cool and immediately chastised the guy for his little stunt. Here's the register.
The avatar, its appearance and voice created by software, appeared on behalf of Jerome DeWald, the plaintiff in an employment dispute with insurance firm Mass Mutual Metro New York, at a March 26th hearing before the U.S. State Supreme Court's Appellate Division. During oral arguments, DeWald asked for a video to be played depicting a man in a V-neck sweater to the five-judge panel. The video opened. "Now may it please the court, I come here today a humble pro se before a panel of 5 distinguished justices." A pro se being someone representing themselves. And I'll be the courtroom in this scenario, and we're just going to kind of play out how this went when this guy just started playing a video of an AI lawyer. Here's the courtroom. Confused by the unknown speaker, one of the judges, Associate Justice Sally Manzanet Daniels, immediately interrupted to ask who was addressing the court. Hold on, is that counsel for the case?
Oh, that? I generated that, replied DeWald, who was physically sitting before the panel of judges in the hearing.
I'm sorry, the judge said.
I generated that, DeWald reiterated. That is not a real person.
Okay, the judge snapped. It would have been nice to know that when you made your application. You did not tell me that, sir.
They go on to explain that DeWald claimed to have been dealing with an ailment that prevented him from speaking, so he simply had to use the AI avatar of himself to represent himself, and the fact that he's the founder of the startup that creates these things, that's just a big coincidence.
Yeah, obviously you're all going to be asking questions about the company that I started.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Were you impressed by it? Because, baby, I need a lot of money. Not too many people investing in startups right now.
So, yeah, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? I mean, you wouldn't tell a guy without a voice to shut up, would you?
Yeah, that would be offensive.
Except he does have a voice. He apparently spoke with the courtroom just fine on previous occasions. Probably because he hadn't worked out all the kinks yet.
Yeah, just wait. I'm going to give you a little bit of an argument now, just a preview.
Yeah.
But if we could please delay a little bit. I got something cooking.
Well, you judges weren't into that, but your kids are going to love it. The article continues with a response from the judge.
You have appeared before this court and been able to testify verbally in the past, Judge Manzanet Daniels continued. You have gone to my clerk's office and held verbal conversations with our staff for over 30 minutes. I don't appreciate being misled. So either you are suffering from an ailment that prevents you from being able to articulate, or you don't. You are not going to use this courtroom as a launch for your business, sir. If you want to have oral argument time, you may stand up and give it to me. So in our interview with the Register this week, DeWald said, I asked the court for permission in advance, and they gave it to me. So they were not unprepared to have the presentation. They were unprepared to see an artificially generated image. And they were very impressed. So impressed they
loved it.
They halted the proceedings.
Yeah.
So apparently this guy had, to his credit, or so he says, had throat cancer 25 years ago. And he says it affects his ability to speak at length, which I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
But as we mentioned, he's apparently been just fine in previous appearances, speaking at length to those officials.
You didn't see all the RICO laws he was popping, though. This solves that.
Yeah, so also it clearly reeks of a guy with an AI lawyer startup filing a lawsuit and then using whatever means necessary to debut his self-representing avatar to the public.
I feel like we saw this case a few years back. I believe it was donotpay.org, the website that primarily, like, when it started out, it was just a lot of like useful like legal tools, and then the guy who runs the site got a little ahead of himself and tried to like actually argue a case. His idea was to like have a chatbot speaking into like an AirPod in his ear.
Taking it in and then analyzing it and giving it back something to say.
And the judges, they were just like, absolutely fucking not. Are you serious? Like, the law is not a joke.
Well, this appeared to be like a pre-taped thing, which, like, what argument could you even make? And also, this is a problem. I can see the logic. People who can't afford lawyers with vast amounts of knowledge and time to research the cases that are relevant to theirs, paying a cheaper fee for that. But that's not how it works. It's going to fuck up. And if you actually are suffering from a debilitating issue that makes it so you can't speak, that is what a lawyer is for.
Yeah, but I mean, lawyers are expensive.
Yeah.
I get the problem he's trying to solve here, but also lawyers are expensive because they have years of expertise and experience arguing cases in a court of law.
And this guy brought the case too, so it's not like he... Yeah. Anyways, it's only made all the better by the fact that no one in the courtroom was just having any of it. They were... Please, sir. And his own startup, self-admittedly, kind of sucks. He couldn't finish his own avatar of himself in time, and he apparently kept fucking up the prompts trying to get everything perfect. Meanwhile, some smokestack somewhere is just billowing toxic fumes as this guy frantically tries to beg a computer to work for him via text.
Cool. DeWald explained that the process of creating an avatar to appear in court involves providing Tavis a 2 to 4 minute video of the subject talking, plus a 1 minute segment that shows the subject standing still. That material is used to generate the subject's digital replica, a process that takes about 2 to 4 hours. He ended up using a default avatar called Jim, rather than one of himself, though. On my basic plan, I only get 3 replicas a month to generate, DeWald said, so I was trying to be conservative. I tried one, it failed after about 6 hours. I tried another one, it failed after about 8 hours. And by the time we were getting ready for the hearing, I still didn't have my own replica.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
So I just used one of their stock replicas, that big, beautiful hunk of a guy that they called Jim. What?
I'm now believing that this guy's had conversations with Jim off the record.
Me and Jim, we're best buds.
Yeah, he knows me inside and out.
Yes, he does. So Jim only got a few words out before the judge shut him down. So none of this mattered. And it also sounds like business is far from booming for Mr. DeWald. Asked whether the court's reaction gave him pause about the viability of AI applications in legal matters, DeWald said, I don't know, but the technology has changed so quickly. You know, my site, we get a fair number of views, but we really don't get much business out of it.
Yeah. Turns out
more of a curiosity than anything.
People think I'm weird. Yeah, people come visit. They're looky-loos.
Oh,
Nobody's
really?
buying anything.
Oh, an AI lawyer. Well, I'm not going to be using that, but very cool. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Glad you're here, I guess. Actually not, because as you explained, hours of computations were happening for failed attempts that are just
all led to nothing.
Yeah, just lakes, rivers, and oceans, cooling giant towers down so this guy can make an avatar of himself.
Yeah, it's these woke judges. They stand in the way of progress.
That's right. Yeah, they're trying to decelerate our growth. But yeah, I mean, it really does seem like the inevitable end of all this AI shit, doesn't it? We've all had fun. This whole thing's just pretty much been exposed as a $1 trillion avatar maker and not much else. Even the most technologically advanced billionaire-funded programs like fucking OpenAI are nothing more than Studio Ghibli recreators.
Yeah.
Which is something that has existed in some form on the internet for 20 years.
We've had filters for a while. This just requires a lot more electricity.
Yeah, and companies in general have been pulling back on their investments. Products have obviously failed to materialize, and they only have themselves to blame.
If they'd slow-walked all this,
could have got a couple of years out of it.
If they hadn't threatened to solve all of our problems all at once.
Not only threatened to solve everyone's problems, but threatened to destroy the entire economy.
Yeah.
But by now, you might have noticed that we are just aching to get into some actual political news.
Are we?
No. We're going to do everyone a favor by focusing on another bizarre story that has nothing at all to do with the current presidential administration. Though it does involve an officer-involved shooting, by which we mean a police officer shot someone and then arrested them and charged them with attempted murder for their trouble.
Well, yeah, they were there.
But now our foreign viewers, they're saying to themselves right now, right, well, that's America, innit? Their schools are like the Call of Duty, and their cops, they just shoot people whenever they're not catching Pokemon.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Which, okay, imaginary British person. Okay, Nigel. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But also this time, the cops shot the guy from Weezer's wife.
Yeah.
They didn't shoot the guy from Weezer. They shot his wife, and not Rivers, a different
That's the basis, Dan. But that's why this is a news story. One of the guys from Weezer, his wife got shot by police, and then she got charged with attempted murder. But it, again, as all interactions with the police, it's not so cut and dry, this one.
So what did she do? Well, she wasn't even involved in the original crime that the police were in the process of investigating at all.
No.
This wasn't exactly clear from early news reports and headlines, which exclaimed, Weezer guy's wife shot by police and charged with attempted murder.
Sounds very serious.
And there were a lot of headlines like, Weezer guy's wife shot after car chase. I'm like, oh, she led the police on a car chase?
That's wild. Yeah.
There was a car chase. She had nothing to do with it.
No.
Nor was it clear within the articles themselves, which all appeared to maybe be written by AI.
Yeah, they were very poorly written.
Sorry for mentioning AI again, but yeah, it was almost all gibberish. So here's what happened. There was a pursuit. Some suspects bailed from a car and ran into a neighborhood. One of those neighbors in that neighborhood was the bassist of Weezer and his wife, Gillian Lauren, who was also part of a harem for the Prince of Brunei, apparently, and wrote a book about it. That's a tale for a different time.
Just go read her book.
Amazon.com.
Bookshop.org.
Yeah. But yeah, now she is armed. She's checking out the commotion, all the sirens and the screeching and whatnot.
Yeah.
Probably a little nervous about all the shouting and the sirens and helicopters. And she's got her gun. She sees some people.
As an American citizen, she grabs her gun.
So I grab my gun.
It is a smaller gun. It's not like she pulled out an assault rifle.
Yeah. She saw some people. She pointed her gun at them, but oops, it's the cops.
Yeah.
And they immediately shoot her in the shoulder, and she is charged with attempted murder for pointing the gun at the cops, which is wild.
Yeah.
But also very telling of the LAPD, who clearly demonstrated that they can use non-lethal force when necessary, but simply choose not to a majority of the time, specifically when the suspects aren't white. Although I wouldn't give them that much credit, they probably
missed.
They're not very good at shooting, and that's why anytime they kill someone, they emptied out an entire clip into them.
That is kind of what's telling about this is, specifically in recent years, anytime you're around the end of a police chase, you have a high probability of getting shot by police. It happened at the Silver Lake Trader Joe's not too many years ago, where people were just in there shopping and cops decided to fucking unload in the grocery store.
Yeah, one of the cashiers was killed.
So not unreasonable for this woman to be on her own property and be like, what the fuck is going on?
She was also, I believe, in her backyard.
Looking at her and in her yard, and the suspect was in the neighbor's house, and the cops were coming through all of the yards.
Yeah, I mean, this once again demonstrates that the whole good guy with a gun thing has some pretty major flaws in it, because in the heat of a hectic situation,
you're just going to get shot.
There's no good guys or bad guys with guns.
It's just people with guns. It's just a lot of guns and a lot of fire.
Now, obviously, you don't point anything at a cop, not even a finger, because they are extremely trigger happy.
Yeah.
But also, this is literally the cops' side of the story because that's where the local news and outlets like TMZ and the New York Post, they get their stories.
Yeah, so the pointing at a cop thing might not even be real.
Yeah.
This is the police.
I would need to see the body cam. But yeah, either way, she was in a super tense situation around cops who are known to shoot innocent people all the goddamn time. And she got both shot and arrested for her trouble. And to top it all off, oh, geez, would you look at this? Weezer is due to play Coachella in just a few days.
And would you believe it? They're actually replacing someone who wasn't able to play the festival. So Weezer's going to miss
Who are
the
they
festival.
replacing?
FKA Twigs, who apparently ran into some visa trouble. And I would venture to guess that any visa trouble that's happening right now probably has something to do with the administration.
If you have even a hint that you might have a little bit of trouble coming to the U.S., it's probably best to just call it a wash.
I'm going to see. I'm going to the AOC and Bernie Sanders rally on Saturday morning. Neil Young's supposed to play. He's even worried about getting in.
Yeah, he's publicly said, like, I don't know. I'm coming in from Canada.
Anyway, hey, if you're going to be there, say hi. Anyways, so Weezer is supposed to play Coachella this weekend.
So yeah, I mean,
are they gonna
the guy's wife not only shot but charged with attempted murder, like facing life in prison. Apparently,
obviously, this is going to ruin the tour. What tour? The world tour.
Except it's not, because she's already been released. The band has confirmed that, look, the show must go on.
We got bills to pay, too.
Listen, a lot of guys' wives are in there. Prison.
Hey, Rivers might be in Beverly Hills, but me, I'm over here in Eagle Rock, California.
Yeah. Anyway,
which is very nice, by the way.
Because it's Coachella, we can only imagine that Jillian Lauren will make a guest appearance on stage or something.
My idea that I thought of was that she should come out dressed as Pee Wee Herman and say, "Heard any good jokes lately?" But only anyone over 40 would, I think, get it. But anyone below that,
not the audience for it.
Anyone who clapped to that, thank you for being old.
I don't know what the average audience for Coachella is these days, but based on the poster and my complete lack of, it's just letters.
That's the thing.
I did the quiz and I recognized, I think, maybe 25 out of like 150 artists.
I feel like Weezer now is obviously a different band than it was in the 90s, but now it feels almost like a Yo Gabba Gabba style band because they've done some cover albums, they've done some stuff with Muppets. Like it seems like you bring the kids to go see Weezer. They're a very safe rock band.
Weezer is like a brewery. It's
not adults, but the kids.
Yeah, it's crossed over from Gen X and Millennials to Gen Alpha. Gen Z has they managed to dodge that bullet.
Yeah, they're like, every once in a while they cover the kids' ears. They're like, all right, they're singing about a hash pipe, or they're singing about those Japanese girls. You know how Rivers loves them.
Half Japanese.
Sorry, half Japanese. Yeah, we all love Pinkerton, Elliot.
Anyways, with the official story on all of this, here's NPR.
Los Angeles police have booked Jillian Lauren, an author and the wife of Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner, on suspicion of attempted murder after an extraordinary sequence of events that included officers shooting at and wounding Lauren in the yard of her home. Lauren suffered a non-life-threatening injury when she was shot. Her husband was not involved in the incident. She was released on bond Wednesday, and a court date has been set for April 30th, according to police records. They obviously talk about the original chase, which she, again, was not involved in at all, and how it ended up in her neighborhood with one of the suspects entering the property near her. When officers reached the backyard of a house where the suspect was seen, they saw a woman, later identified as Lauren, holding a pistol in a neighboring yard.
The officers ordered Schreiner to drop the handgun numerous times. However, she refused, the news release said. Schreiner then pointed the handgun at the officers, and an officer-involved shooting occurred. Lauren was not involved with the hit and run, police say. But because of the encounter with police in her yard, she was absentee booked for attempted murder. As for the hit and run crash, one of the three suspects was detained, cited, and released by California Highway Patrol.
All right, job well done. Bake them away, toys.
I'm really curious because this case obviously is going to get a little bit more attention than it would if this was just some person and not the wife.
Oh, she's absolutely getting away scot-free.
Absolutely, but I'm really curious to see how much of the police version of events is just a flat-out fucking lie.
Look, it could be 100% true. It could be 100% false. It is a fascinating kind of thing because this will actually get the attention.
Yeah,
and the body cams
I just have a lot of trouble believing that they saw a woman holding a gun They repeatedly told her to drop the gun, and then she raised the pistol
At
to
them.
point it at the police. And then they shot her exactly once.
By the way, in the house was like her kid and the babysitter. So it doesn't seem like it was that she was like under any kind of like, she was protecting her family and her property. If this was Florida, she'd be completely within her rights, I would assume.
Obviously not victim blaming here, but this is just one more reason why, even if you have a gun, the best thing you can do in any situation where you're not sure of, but it seems like criminality is happening and police are around, is stay the fuck inside your house.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, it is. It's the good guy with the gun fallacy is just that. It is that. But while this won't interrupt Weezer's plans to play the music festival known as Coachella, have you ever said thank you to another big and totally real music festival lately? Because it's time to start saying thank you for some news. Because we are, of course, talking about Fire Festival 2.0.
Oh, good.
The ultimate festival experience where you and your friends can finally be a part of a viral moment, get featured in a documentary about the rancid conditions, and end up in endless litigation that results in a meager settlement while the locals who were exploited get nothing. Aren't you ready to sign up?
Well, it doesn't sound very fun the way you explain it.
It's the experience, Elliot.
Yeah.
The kids these days, well, actually, I would say before this week, there's like, they didn't have their own recession. Sure, they had a pandemic, but they have to buy their hard experiences.
Yeah, they do.
So this is their chance.
So Firefest is back, or so says Billy McFarland. And if you're not caught up, no, we're not catching you up on the original Firefest. There's multiple documentaries and I believe books. You got a lot of catching up to do that we're not going to help you with. But the sequel has already been off to a predictably rocky start. And without going through the entire timeline, let's just say, as of a few weeks ago, the local tourism board in Mexico, where Firefest 2 is supposed to take place, hadn't even heard of it. With The Guardian reporting at the time, alarms raised over legitimacy of Fire Festival 2, an event that does not exist. We have no knowledge of this event, nor contact with any person or company about it. Edgar Gasca from the Tourism Directorate of Isla Mujeres told them, "For us, this is an event that does not exist." In response to that article, Firefest founder and convicted felon Billy McFarland decided to post proof that he had done his due diligence on Instagram, where he uploaded permit documents for the event. Except, as people quickly pointed out, those permits were for small clubs that would hold less than 300 people.
And also, no live performances allowed. So it sounds like people called his bluff and he said, what's the cheapest way I can come up with some permits related to something in the area?
Yeah. Here's Consequence of Sound with more.
Last week, Playa del Carmen became the second location to deny involvement with Fire Festival 2. Over the weekend, festival founder Billy McFarland and fellow organizers posted documents on Instagram as proof they were working to lawfully host an event. In news that should surprise no one, however, the permits for said event appear to authorize little more than a multi-day listening party. The documents included an initial permit dated March 18th, authorizing Firefest 2 to take place at Martina Beach Club with a maximum capacity of 250 people. It approves only 12 total hours from midnight to 4 a.m. each day between May 30th and June 1st. Not only that, the festival hasn't even received permission for live performances. The operating permit issued on March 26th only authorizes música grabada, or recorded music. As further proof that Firefest 2 isn't happening, tickets are no longer on sale at its official ticketing partner, soldout.com. Folks, we hate to be the bearer of bad news, but once again, they got you.
Yeah, I wonder what this means for all of the true believers who cashed in on Firefest 2 the first chance they got.
Look, as long as you get your wristbands and your flight is booked, it is your duty to go down to whatever town this is happening in at the last moment, wherever Billy McFarland says it is, wherever he's going to do a guerrilla concert at the last minute, and it's your job to show up there and eat the worst sandwich you've ever had. Except, unfortunately for you, based on where this seems to be taking place, the food's probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah, this is Cancun. Like,
Yeah, you're probably not going to have a bad meal unless you go to the Hard Rock Cafe.
it seems like it would have been not difficult to actually
do it the right way.
To actually do this the right way.
People do it all year long.
Cancun is set up for this exact sort of thing.
That's what's funny about the first article from The Guardian, because the people that would be in charge of a music festival like this they responded and you would assume that in their hearts they're saying, well, we would love a music festival to be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no one's done anything.
Yeah, like it's not like they wouldn't be into the idea if it was actually happening.
What do you mean 20,000 rich Americans coming here to spend a bunch of money? And oh, yes, of course, please. Where is this Billy McFarland guy?
So look at that. We made it all the way to the ad read with no politics. Can you believe it? Thank you, Billy McFarland.
Yeah, he did it.
And thank you, artificial intelligence.
Sure.
Anyway, folks, we got a sponsor for this week's mashup of Weekly Weird News Dump, and that sponsor has the fuel that we need to write and edit these episodes, because today's episode is brought to you by Huel. Constantly on the go? Or are you like us and sometimes work so late that you forget to eat? Well, Huel, spelled H-U-E-L, is here to save your appetite and give you the nutrition you need to thrive. Their Black Edition Ready to Drink is a complete meal in a bottle, full of 35 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and low in sugar, all in one handy bottle. Huel is the global, complete nutrition brand with over 500 million meals sold. You can find Huel in GNC stores, on Amazon, or directly at Huel.com. And for new customers shopping at Huel.com, you can try it for 15% off, plus a free gift using our exclusive code NEWSDUMP at Huel.com.
Huel has what your body needs from a meal, and it takes the guesswork out of healthy eating. It's for your most inconvenient meals. It has no prep, no cooking. So say goodbye to getting hangry and just those unsatisfying snacks. Grab a Huel instead. They taste so good. Huel shakes actually taste like a milkshake, and they come in delicious chocolate or vanilla. Chocolate, my personal favorite. Probably gonna be drinking one while I edit this. Also, bonus, they're low in sugar. And lastly, Huel is incredibly affordable with high-protein meals less than $5. It is a budget-friendly option that we are genuinely excited about. And of course, our personal favorite is that Black Edition Ready to Drink, because it's got those whopping grams of protein and all those vitamins and minerals in one handy bottle. Access to quality, quick, and easy meals hasn't been this easy since ever. So join the community of Hueligans with this exclusive offer for new customers of 15% off plus a free gift when you use our exclusive code NEWSDUMP at Huel.com/NEWSDUMP. That is 15% off plus a free gift for new customers using our code NEWSDUMP at Huel.com. Please see the description for terms and conditions. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel. Nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters.
Okay, back to the news, and we're going to once again combine Weekly Weird News and News Dump because I'm going out of town.
And my dad's coming into town in a few days, so there's a lot of moving parts going on, so thank you for letting us
We
do
will obviously return early next week with more episodes, but since Trump hasn't done anything dumber than what he's already done all week long, we're also going to give you a slight break of us talking about it. Yeah. The latest, though, is that his reversal of tariffs only worked temporarily. And the market continued to crash on Thursday of this week. What? Which certainly does not bode well because he just used up what appears to be his only bargaining chip.
Yeah, and it technically used it twice this week. Yeah. First was Walter Bloomberg, then the real Trump one, and now what? Now what?
Plus, the price increases, they haven't really hit yet, and other countries are simply refusing to buy our products or visit our tourist locations. Certainly, one of these will have an effect on the greater economy as we revert back to the dark ages.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening regardless of these tariffs that is going to have a lot of effects down the line.
Yeah. But if there's one person on Earth who knows how to weather a storm, it's Laura Loomer and her gigantic rictus face, which also doubles as an umbrella.
Yeah.
Let's check in with Laura Loomer.
Yeah, so after getting a bunch of people fired from the Trump administration just, I don't know, last week,
yeah.
And then facing a storm of criticism from Republicans and Democrats alike, Loomer did what she does best. She created a bunch of made-up enemies, portrayed herself as a victim, and then somehow also the hero of her own fantasy, where she blocks out the haters with solid investment advice.
Oh, tell me more.
Yeah, so we're just gonna show part of the video that she released because it is bizarre. It
feels almost AI generated, but I think that's just how she is.
Well, all of the voices in script are AI generated, but her voice also seems AI generated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like her voice and the way her face moves, it feels like one of those avatars that you would use to represent you in court.
Yeah, I was shocked by the clearly obvious face voices when I was listening to it. So her voice, at least matching with her mouth, was like, okay, but it's still uncanny valley.
Yeah.
And it feels obviously like a horror movie. I mean, it looks like Jigsaw just rolled in and started filming in this fucking living room. I'm sorry. Here you go.
Laura Loomer has been canceled. The President of the United States has refused to take her phone calls as he suspects she is soon to be arrested.
Is Laura Loomer the most hated person on planet Earth? We want to hear from you, the listener, and get your opinion on whether or not...
Man, I tell you, I heard she got canceled. We coming for you, bitch. We coming to your house, Laura Loomer. We fight. We know where you live.
Why are you not panicking?
Because I called Kirk Elliott Precious Metals, and I learned how adding gold and silver to my portfolio is one of the safest ways to not just grow my finances, but to also protect them from the uncertainty of the future.
Anyways, we do have one more glimpse at the horrors that you need to know about before we have some fun with the headlines. Remember that gay Venezuelan makeup artist who was mistakenly sent to a Salvadoran prison despite not being involved in any transnational gangs or terrorist organizations or just crime in general?
Yeah, or committing any crime.
Well, it turns out that some piece of shit ex-cop was the one to seal his fate. A cop so bad at his job that he got fired from a position that has qualified immunity. That is fucking wild.
Yeah.
But like a lot of ex-cops, he ended up as a prison contractor and eventually came across the file of Andre Jose Hernandez and shipped him on down to El Salvador for no goddamn reason. Probably because he needed to hit a quota and just needed... I need 50 Salvadorans.
Yeah,
right now.
what this story actually exposes is that there's government contractors that are just stamping these things with no oversight, and then ICE gets it and goes, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Because they're counting on this chain breaking down so that all of them can place the blame somewhere else.
Yeah, and this is, we just talked about this in our last episode. They want a lot more of this. They want the actual government to have as little involvement in this as possible because the private sector always figures out a more efficient way to do things.
They're going through a lot of rubber stamps, and they're going through a lot of ex-cops.
So here's USA Today with this guy's background and what happened to Mr. Hernandez.
A report approved by the police officer turned prison contractor claimed the Venezuelan man was a member of the notorious gang Tren de Aragua. But the credibility of Charles Cross Jr., who signed the report, was so bad, prosecutors flagged him on a list of police who had been accused of lying, breaking the law, or acting in a way that erodes their credibility to testify in Milwaukee County. Cross was fired from his position as a Milwaukee police sergeant in 2012 after driving his car into a family's home while intoxicated.
Jesus Christ.
At the time, Cross was also being investigated for claiming overtime he allegedly hadn't earned. Earlier misdeeds had landed him on the Milwaukee County Brady List, a compilation of law enforcement officers deemed by county prosecutors to have credibility problems. But they weren't enough to keep him from making life-altering decisions about gang affiliations and migrants at an immigration detention center in California.
This is a big problem is like bad cops, like even the really, really bad ones, never have any trouble finding new employment either at at another police department or in the private sector adjacent to law enforcement.
Especially in the government contracting and prison sector, because a lot of bad cops move there, and then when they see someone in need, bring in their buddies. It is a very fraternal kind of thing.
A fraternal order, if you will.
Yeah, some might say.
Today, Cross, 62, is one of the private prison contractors helping to identify Venezuelan migrants as members of the criminal outfit Tren de Aragua, a designation that's landing them in a Salvadoran prison without due process. Putting that responsibility in the hands of government contractors raises serious concerns, said John Sandwig, former ICE acting director under the Obama administration, given that the government is using the suspected gang link as the sole reason for deportation.
And that guy's the deportation king saying that.
Yeah.
Obama gets no thumbs up. He deported a lot of people, and so did Joe Biden. So when you have the guy that's Obama's fucking deportation guy saying that this is fucked up, you should believe it.
Yeah, when the former director of ICE is like, whoa, too far. You've gone way too far.
Yeah.
People are being rendered to a torture prison on the basis of these flimsy and inaccurate determinations, said Heidi Altman, Vice President of Policy at the National Immigration Law Center and Advocacy Group. Using private prison contractors to make those determinations is just another level of recklessness. Reached by phone, Cross deferred all questions to Core Civic headquarters. Ryan Gustin, a Core Civic spokesman, wouldn't comment specifically on Cross's case, but said in a statement that all employees clear a rigorous federal background clearance process and must be approved by ICE before being employed at an ICE contracted facility.
Well, then I guess you fucked up there, too. I guess you guys are fucking up all over the place.
Or they don't fucking care.
Yeah, that's the real issue. They don't care. But if you took him at his word, you would say, well, there seems to be a lot of problems happening here. A lot of problems with vetting, whether it's your employees or the people that we're shipping down to a fucking prison. So for a little more background on this guy who sealed the fate of someone escaping persecution and violence, by the way, in 2007, he received a misdemeanor conviction after kicking in the door of the apartment he shared with his girlfriend and threatening to kill himself with his service revolver, according to court records. In 2012, Cross was arrested again after driving his car into the side of a house, court records show. His blood alcohol level was more than double the legal limit for driving. He couldn't walk straight. He was talking nonsense like, highways here. Nina Krasik, who was in the home with her 3 children, told Fox 6 TV at the time. I'm like, no. After an internal investigation, Cross was fired from the force in October 2012. He appealed and later resigned. 4 months later, he was hired at CoreCivic. And this is just rotten down to the court because of course it is. These mistakes, these tragedies, they're seeming intentional. Why else would you put this guy in this position other than to have him be someone who makes mistakes like this?
Yeah.
Or who has no problem hitting that stamp because he's been given a lifeline by apparently some friends.
Yeah, again, this would have all showed up on a background check, so they saw it.
Yeah.
And they're like, perfect.
In fact, it was a bonus because if you don't stamp the paper, you don't have a job. So this guy's clearly going to stamp the paper.
Yeah, we don't want to hire people who follow all the rules.
You either stamp the paper or you're putting the fries in the bag. But now we have to try to calm down. We have to somehow shift and lighten this mood with a couple of weird headlines.
Okay, good.
That's right. It's News Dump. It's Weekly Weird. It doesn't matter.
Weird dump. Weird dump. Weird dump.
No one owns us but you, the viewer. So it's Weekly Weird News Dump. So if you'd like to contribute to the channel and become an owner of the channel, please consider clicking the join button today because that $5 a month goes a long way when a whole bunch of you come together. All
It's
right?
a much better investment than anything you could do on the United States stock market.
That's right. So here you go. Here are some of the wildest, craziest, and weirdest headlines from around the world this week, starting with
U.S. defends tariffs on remote island of penguins and seals.
and yes, they defended tariffing the...
We meant to do that.
Yeah, they said that if they...
Fuck them penguins.
If they had left anyone off the list, then other countries would clearly just ship all of their goods through the countries that were left off the tariff list, and that way they could get everything in the United States for cheaper.
Yeah, that makes sense. This uninhabited island that was gonna handle just all this new trade.
Yeah, they didn't elaborate on how
Megaport down there.
Yeah, how a secluded island would do this, but you know, that was the fear, and the fear was real.
Yeah, well.
And if the fear is real, that means it is real. Because as Trump has pretty much indicated, if he believes it hard enough, it is real.
If you believe it, it's real. It's still real to me, damn it.
And if you believe it hard enough, it's going to take a full week and 2 days to get Trump to reverse his decision because he actually believed that those tariffs were going to work.
I think he still does.
Yeah, and he's probably pissed that the market tanked after he reversed it too. He's probably screaming.
Well, it's because
Elon was right. You are dumb as a bag of rocks.
It's because there's 125% tariffs on China.
Yeah, our biggest
Where we get all of our stuff. Like, of course, we're not in the clear at all.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it's even worse.
Next headline. Police escort woman off flight after she is unable to pay for Pringles.
Wait, what, did she eat one before they asked for the money?
Now, Elliot, of course, you know the problem is once you pop, you cannot stop. So
true.
If you don't pay for the Pringles in advance, there's no stopping someone from eating that entire can.
I don't understand how did she get Pringles before paying for the Pringles?
Well, you know, when you're on a plane and everyone's trying to be nice, they come by. Oh, you want the Pringles, miss? Yeah, here you go. All right, let me get the card reader out. And so it's actually worse than that. She just didn't have cash, which is a totally normal thing, I would feel, on a plane especially. But, of course, this is Ryanair. Everything costs money. Everything doesn't work. Please just give us a couple points.
I'm surprised they had Pringles on a Ryanair flight.
They probably cost like $20. So yeah, she apparently didn't even make a fuss. The card reader was broken. She tried to pay. She couldn't pay. The card reader was broken. So the people on the plane, the Ryanair representatives, called the police on her. The police, to their credit, because this is the UK and not America, they didn't shoot her. They said, oh, this is stupid, you're free to go.
Okay. Well, did the plane at least go where it was trying to go, or did they have to, like, reroute the plane?
This happened when they landed, so I'm sure it, like, delayed some stuff, but no. To their credit, the police were like, all right, then. This ain't no Russian map, eh? We ain't gonna shoot anybody. And then
This isn't Call of Duty.
I know it's an airport, but this isn't no Russian mission.
Anyway, Florida teacher loses job for calling student by preferred name. Oh my God.
And of course, this happened in Florida, obviously. And because it is in Florida and because of how Florida is, the law states there that this teacher needs permission from any student to use their preferred name. And if the student cannot give permission without signed admission from the parents.
Yeah, that's because like, I mean, growing up in the 90s, you got like 47 Jennifers in your class.
Yeah.
And 15 Michaels.
Yeah.
Obviously, teacher has to like be like, okay, anyone got a nickname? Help me out.
Yeah.
And like that, ever since I
Even
started,
that, yeah.
like that's all I think about when I hear about this like preferred name shit is like it's very normal for people who either share a name with multiple other people in the class or in a lot of cases might have a foreign name that's difficult for other people to pronounce and they maybe have a nickname that's a little easier.
Nope.
That's a preferred name.
No, got to get parents' permission, and if you don't, you get in a lot of trouble. And you know, luckily, and it always seems to be the teachers who get, you know, fired for this dumb bullshit always seem to be the best ones at their
Yeah.
literally so good. You know how hard it is to get a class of students to fucking like you, let alone be receptive to what you're teaching.
You know, treating your students with like the level of respect, basic respect of like calling them by the name they'd like to be called by.
Yeah. I guess it goes a long way.
That does signal that the teacher is probably decent at their job.
So
they've got to go.
Thousands of people have signed the petition to get her job back, and numerous students have come out and given statements about how wonderful. Obviously, like this is the sign of someone who has empathy and compassion.
Yeah.
So they got to go. They got to go.
Gotta go. Following sarcastic Hitler remark, Michigan council member resigns. What was the remark?
I was just joking that I was a Nazi. Yeah, so it was. We should just read from the article because it's pretty bold, and immediately he's like, "Oh, well, you know, I didn't mean it."
Like what are we talking about here? Was it like one of those?
He said the full HH.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can't do that.
A Chelsea City Council member has resigned after facing backlash and issuing an apology for saying Heil Hitler in what he characterized as a sarcastic comment at a meeting.
What was the context that would call for that?
I'm just going to read the quote. As I committed to you in my apology, I accept your decision to censor me, Bill Ruddock said in his resignation letter to the city Tuesday, April 8th. I do not want to be a distraction to the great work of the council, and I hereby resign my seat effective immediately. The night prior, Ruddock uttered Heil Hitler in response to a resident who made public comments criticizing the city's stance for asking people their immigration status.
Okay.
So someone was like, hey, I don't really like that the city's going to be asking everyone for their fucking immigration. Kind of sounds like they're asking people for their papers.
Yeah.
And some guy literally said fucking Heil Hitler to that.
Yeah, not the...
And then said he was being sarcastic.
Response.
Okay, well, what was the sarcasm?
Yeah, I don't even like, what's the joke?
Yeah. You're doing the actual Nazi thing right now, and but now you're saying you're sarcastic.
Because people are complaining. They're like, this feels a little fashy. And then your response to that is Heil Hitler. It kind of sounds like you like how fashy it is.
Yeah. And also the fact that you resigned leads me to believe that you know that it's bad.
Well, it's fine. He'll have a job contracting for ICE by the end of the week.
He's getting that rubber stamp before you know it. Trump escalates feud with low water pressure by signing executive order targeting weak and worthless showerheads.
He's been on about this for like 9 years at this point.
It's the gas stoves, it's the shower heads, it's anything that isn't like
just toilets. You got to flush it 2-3 times.
Something that is just an absolute abuse of our natural resources. I like specifically the showers, because I know you guys are wasting time in the showers. Everyone does it, but like, come on.
Not me. I'm in and out.
I'm in and out most times. There's some times when I need to have a little emotional moment in there, you know? Get your alone time, get it out.
I guess.
Sing a little loud.
Anyway, here's what Trump said.
Yeah.
I like to take a nice shower to take care of my beautiful hair. You have to stand under a shower for 15 minutes until it gets wet. It comes out drip, drip, drip. It's ridiculous.
This motherfucker has never not taken a perfect shower in his life. It's always been the highest pressure, most perfect gold-plated
Let's
shower
see a
head.
picture of this man's shower.
Yeah, it's probably got panels all over it that just cover him in water.
I refuse to believe that this man is not taking the best showers anyone's ever taken.
Now, having said that, I would believe that the White House shower heads probably fucking suck.
Yeah, that's probably
Remember when we went, I forget what movie it was, but they sent us to England and they put us up in like some fancy American hotel where all the American diplomats stayed. It was the worst place I've ever stayed in my life. There was standing water in the tub.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. So maybe it is bad. I don't know. But folks, it's not the issue that is going to destroy your life. There are other things to focus on. It is especially funny that he is doing this amidst the worst market crash in 5 years. So, yeah, it is, like he says, ridiculous, but for different reasons.
Woman called AAA during standoff to fix tire police had just spiked, report says. Hello? I'm in a bit of a situation here.
You don't need to know the details. You just need to know that I got a flat tire. I need you to get here right.
I need four fresh tires.
Yeah, I don't need them to be reinflated. I need 4 brand new tires.
Where are you? I'll come to you.
These bad boys are shredded. And no, do not ask how. Yeah, we're just gonna, again, it really sums it up here. About 40 minutes into the ensuing standoff, police say Martinez called AAA to get her tire fixed. The affidavit says. The roadside assistance company transferred the call to the police, who in turn transferred the call to a trooper at the scene.
Oh, she gave too much information.
That's the problem. You gotta wait until the guy gets out there and fixes it before you say that the cops are there for you.
I mean, how would that... It takes a little while.
That's what the standoff is.
Tires, so...
Yeah. You got to call in a bunch of crazy things like a football helmet filled with cottage cheese and a tow truck for your car.
Yeah. Vice President of Bikers Against Child Abuse arrested for sex crimes against children.
I mean, that's not so much a weird, that's definitely not a funny headline. It's just a headline that is totally expected.
It's a real trend that needs to be studied, but we see it again and again, is that obviously most normal people are against child abuse.
Yeah.
But people who doth protest a little too
people
much.
who make it their entire personality.
There's often a reason they're compensating for their own dark thoughts, it would seem.
Yeah. Man, 71, arrested after 7 emotional support tigers found in his house.
That's a few too many tigers, I'd say.
Maybe just one short of the emotional support he needed, though. Some would say.
I mean, listen, if you can live with 7 tigers, every day is a gift.
Yeah.
You could die at any moment.
Maybe that is what he was going for.
That gives you a new lease on life.
You know, you have that, like, if you have, like, a near-death experience once, you're never going to catch that high again.
I just wonder, like, 7 tigers, your grocery bills are going to be insane.
Well, if you were taking care of them properly, which this guy clearly was not.
Well, I'm saying, like, just food.
Yeah, I know.
Because
just to keep them alive.
If you don't feed them, they are going to kill you.
Yeah,
they're going to eat you.
Yeah.
So even if he's feeding them, like, garbage, that's going to add up. And they eat a lot.
Exotic got it done somehow.
He dumpster dived. That's how he did it. Maybe this guy did the same thing. Hawk that terrorized tall, bald men for weeks was hormonal, Falconer says.
Put on a hat, fellas.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why Tim Pool wears that beanie.
Yeah, he had a bad experience with a bird of prey.
I don't think he's tall, though. I don't know.
That would be weird if he was. I recently met a YouTuber who I'd seen before, and I was
shocked at how tall.
Flabbergasted that he was like pushing 7 feet tall. Yeah. I would have never gotten that.
Same with Hassan.
From the videos I've
very
seen.
Tall.
Well, he seems tall. This other person,
short and
this other guy did not give off tall vibes, and I met him in person. I was like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Absolute unit. Look at the size of this.
I met a lumberjack like last Thanksgiving sometime around then, and he was a giant. His wrists were giant. His hands were giant. There was something in that family bloodline because his dad showed up late to the party, and his dad was as big as he was, and it was just like
big boy season.
It was crazy. I was shocked. I'd never seen like hands that big.
Yeah.
And for them to be lumberjacks too, I was like, "Are you
perfect job?"
Like,
yeah.
Couldn't believe it. I mean, but they brought like this really nice firewood from their property to this party.
Yeah. Cut it themselves.
They did.
And Jeopardy's got that big lad.
Yeah, the guy that's currently winning. Yeah, he's
Big boy
Big
season.
boy, yeah. It's big boy season.
But yeah, if you're a big boy and you're bald,
Watch out for Hawk.
put on a hat. Watch out for them boys.
Talking about, let's speak about big boys who are probably scared of hawks. One just got the ability to shoot one back. So that's Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson to have his gun rights restored by Justice Department.
Yeah, we talked about this a little while back.
Because before he was like asking for it,
he has
petitioning for it.
domestic violence convictions, and they don't give you your guns back. It's like one of the few common sense gun rules we do have on the books is if you've been caught beating up your spouse or girlfriend, you're not allowed to have guns because you've demonstrated a pattern of behavior that makes it significantly higher likelihood that you're gonna shoot someone on purpose.
But it's Mel Gibson. And
he appealed to the federal government, and they said, hey, you're such a nice guy, and you love that Braveheart movie, here you go, which is something that does not happen.
They got to give it to him because, as we've heard, he is now in charge of the Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, whatever happened with that?
Basically, Trump looked at the Expendables movies, and he was like, hey, those big tough guys, things would be a lot better if they were in charge.
Stallone, John Voight, and
Mel Gibson. Stallone, I think, is the only, Mel Gibson gets work, but he's the Tulsa King now. He's a little busy. And final headline. Republican senator floats using violence against journalists who report fake news. And that Republican senator is Mark Wayne Mullen.
Oh, he's a big MMA guy. He's always threatened to take it outside.
Yeah. Well, hey, take this outside.
What kind of violence is he talking about?
I think that he's probably leaving that open to interpretation. Well, intentionally.
In that case, maybe don't fucking do that.
Yeah, I would say that's a really bad sign.
Yeah, that's
especially for a sitting senator.
I feel like that's worthy of being censured.
Yeah,
but they won't.
Nah. Anyways, we'll be back early next week for some more news, but that was your rundown of everything that we had to talk about today, including some weird headlines. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. Please like the video, please. It's the only way to help this channel out. Like the video, click the join button, leave a comment, talk about anything we spoke about today or what you're up to this weekend. If you are, for some reason, going to be at the AOC Bernie rally in LA, I will be there. I'll also be taking some photos and videos on the old Instagram and BlueSky pages. I'll leave a link down in the description below so you can follow me there. Should be a fun time. I'm really hoping to see Neil Young. What an experience that would be. Shake hands with AOC and Bernie. Probably not going to happen, but a boy can dream.
Yeah.
So follow me there and watch along. In the meantime, we have other videos for you to watch. Of course, we've got, a roller coaster of a week. You can watch the down, you can watch the up, and you can watch wherever the hell we are now, because by the time you're watching this, it's Friday and anything could happen.
Yeah, who knows?
All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dave Smith's widely spread, highly viewed view of the world is childish and silly in a lot of ways, but he is critical of Israel. So a lot of people are like, okay, Dave, good for you. You're not totally in lockstep, just parroting all the other right-wing media out there. You know, they're like, good job, Dave. But Doug can't stand for this, you know, so they debate about this for like 2 hours, where Douglas Murray is just basically repeating everything you hear on like the Daily Wire, basically.
Have you been to the crossing points?
No.
When were you last there at all?
I've never been.
You've never been?
Well, am I not allowed to talk about it now?
Calm down, man.
Have you ever been to Nazi Germany? Are you allowed to have feelings about
give that guy a break, man.
Time travel, but you can but you can travel.
Okay, but so what? So what's the point?
I find that
lots of people have been there and agree with me, and lots of people have been there and agree with you.
Yeah, but
so
if you're going to spend a year and a half talking about a place, you should at least do the courtesy of visiting it.
All right.
All right, Doug.
I just think this is a non-argument.
You don't think?
Okay. No, I think it's a non-argument.
But if you're next,
but you have to go and touch the ground.
Hey,
I think you have to.
Hey, Joe. Hey, you stay out of this, Joe. Hey, Joe, no one asked you. Shut up, man. I like when they both look at Joe like, oh, Joe's saying something. Let's see that again and see if we could add drops to it.
No, I think it's a non-argument.
But if you're an expert...
Well, you have to go and touch the ground.
No, I think it's a good idea to...
Yeah, again, the Joe Rogan show, very wacky. It's kind of a silly circus, you know? But if you look at the comments of this video, this guy just totally loses the audience here. Let's look at the first comment. What is this goddamn thing? What the hell does this goddamn sassy guy right here say? What the hell does this sassy boy right here say? I want to give my opinion on this debate, but I have never been to Joe's studio. Hey, I get what you're doing, man, and I don't like it. Flag that comment. Too much attitude. You know what I mean?
Boom.
I mean, you know, I think a lot of us think debates are kind of stupid, but definitely if you can lose a debate, I think this guy did, because they're talking about Israel, and this guy's like, well, you've never even been there. Okay. They're basically having a debate about the history of a place, and the guy's like, you've never even been there, though. Oh, well, rather droll, don't you think? Rather short-sighted, don't you think, Mr. Bond? Mr. Bond? You heard me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to use the restroom here at the Joe Rogan Studios. Don't
do that song, man.
I mean, there's a bunch of comments like this. What does this little guy say here? What does this little attitude right here say? I'm not a professional YouTube commentator, but I'm going to leave a comment. Hey, here's another one. The same joke again. I guess we can't comment since we weren't in Joe's studio. Hey, no. I'm only 41 minute. Okay, I'm only 41 minute of that conversation over there. I'm exhausted with that guy, Doug. Hey.
It doesn't mean anything. This is a non-argument. Yes, I'm saying the World Bank did their own analysis of this, right? And they said that it was a 40%
your own analysis.
Hold on, you got to stop interrupting and let him finish the sentence.
The World Bank.
Hey, shut up, man.
40.
Hey, in other words, I should be in the background. I should be the Jamie of the thing. Hey, listen to Joe. Shut up, man. You want one of these?
Boom.
Then you zip that trap, man. Now, Dave, what the hell were you saying, man?
I'm not allowed to talk about something because I'm not an expert.
You're not allowed to
okay,
talk
fine. Well,
about
you're not an expert, so you shouldn't talk about it. You haven't been there. Yeah, I know. But you keep playing this game where it's like the whole opening to this podcast was like the non-experts talking about this is such a problem. Now you're saying because I haven't been there, I can't talk about it. Is there a blockade there that's causing economic devastation or not? According to the World Bank, there is.
First of all, I don't think it's a game.
Hey, calm down. You're kind of treating it like it is, but you Hey, Joe needs to step in again. Hey, hey, hold on. Let me look at you. Is that attitude, man? You clean it up, man. You clean it up. Go kick the heavy bag for 10 minutes, then come back. That's your punishment. Joe should punish people. Hey, give me 10 push-ups, 10 heavy bag kicks, then you come back. If not, you're going to be in timeout for the rest of the show, the remaining 8 hours of the show. Hey, whoa. Hey, I don't like that attitude, man. You give me 10 of these, boom, 14 of these, and 6 of these.
No, George W. Bush invaded the country on a bunch of lies, a war that you supported. He went in there and
got his ass, man.
Boom.
So there we go. One of the wackier episodes of the JRE, of which I'm a huge fan. You know, I do think Joe watches this show, and Joe, if you're watching, please start punishing the guests. Make them do crunches if you don't like their attitude. If one guy talks over another guy, say, hey, that's 10 reps on the heavy bag. You think about what you're doing, man. Then in the corner of the JRE, while they're talking for 7 hours, you could have a little square in the corner that shows the guy doing his punishment, you know? Why he hasn't done this yet is beyond me. But guys, we know what it is.
For one day.
It's the day for which we all give praise and thanks.
Praise God.
That's right. It's the day of... And yes, for that, we...
Praise God.
Hope you guys have a great weekend. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Hey, man, how you doing? It's me, the guy who put that comment in the Joe Rogan comments where he's like, yeah, you doing a good job, Joe. Keep up the great work, Joe. Just have fun. That's the most important thing is just have fun, Joe. I'm the guy who wrote that, but also I'm the guy telling you subscribe on Patreon. Subscribe on Patreon because you're missing episodes. That's not great. You know, let's just say it. Let's say it. Let's just air this out and be honest. That's not good, okay? Because you're missing all the funnier episodes, way funnier and way more exciting than this one you're missing. Can you believe that? I go. But click the link in the description. It's very easy. Go there, subscribe on Patreon for as little as $2 per month. You get every episode and question and answer show live streams, all this stuff. Oh, it's unbelievable. And also, you support Fischel. Did I already say that? Well, if I did, whatever. Who cares? I had to get out of here. Bye.
So, Israel is Jewish ISIS. And I have proof of this. You might have heard recently that there was a motion to the Israeli Supreme Court against the Israeli government to try and force them to allow aid into Gaza. And the Israeli Supreme Court ruled against this, saying that, like, no, the government doesn't have to let aid into Gaza, let them die. And part of the justification for this, which they used, is that they cited the Bible. They cited the Bible and the fact that gives Jews permission to starve and kill Amalek. It's a decision that you would think would come out of like an ISIS religious court, but in this case, it did not. As you can see here, Judge David Mintz of the Israeli Supreme Court said that the biblical commandment to annihilate Amalek are grounds for rejecting international humanitarian law, distinction between civilians and military objectives in the legal system of the state of Israel. This man cited like a biblical commandment telling Jews to entirely wipe out like the Amalekian people, which they call Palestinians, which is what they call Palestinians in Israel, to justify Israel starving Palestinians legally. Like the legal system in Israel is ISIS. This is literally like what the ISIS legal system would be like them going to the Quran and being like, you see at this part, in this part, Muhammad led a war. Therefore, we can kill anyone we want. Done. Israel is ISIS. Worse than ISIS, in fact, because it has achieved like power and support and committed crimes on such a scale that just immensely outpace anything that ISIS was ever able to do. Israel is basically the wet dream of ISIS. Fucking Supreme Court citing the Bible. Like, they say this country is like, it's secular. Ethan Klein's like, everyone here has equal rights. There's no segregation. There's no apartheid. And literally, the Supreme Court is citing one religious group's interpretation of a religious book to justify starving the other group of people. Israel, according to this guy, has free modalities for religiously mandated war. That is to inherit the promised land, to destroy the people of Amalek, and to fend off aggressors. So I guess it's established now in Israeli law that you can go to war to destroy Amalek. So just say that anyone you want is Amalek and you can do it. Welcome to Jewish ISIS. Israel is Jewish ISIS. Done.
TACOM, requesting recon overhead.
UAV established overhead.
We're winning. Keep it that way.
Archangel, prepping fire.
Flying on fumes.
Just a quick video I wanted to make today because I saw some people tweeting that the quartering is like bankrupt or something because of his coffee company, and I was actually just looking at all the anti-SJW nerd channels I used to cover here, and I haven't done so for quite a while, to be honest. And I was looking at their views, and I was like, damn, like these views have gone down massively from when, I don't know, when I used to pay attention to them, like 2021, early 2022, where they'd be getting like 500,000 to 1 million views, like on every single video. And now when I look at the quartering, I find videos of like 40K, and it's actually a big deal if he gets over 200K on a video. And then I looked at Geeks and Gamers channel recently, and although not like terrible views just generally, some of these thumbnails did make me laugh. Snow White failed, we did it, boys. I walked out of Snow White. This is a 40-year-old man doing this. And I was just thinking, like, has anti-SJW YouTube specifically focused on nerd culture, has it had its heyday? Has it had its peak? Now, there's a video I actually always think about, this is weird, from another leftist YouTuber called Tiffany Third. She made a video about like the life cycle of YouTube channels and how you have your rise, you have your peak, you have your like maybe stagnation maintenance period, and you have your fall. I think about this all the time because I'm always thinking about myself. And when you're a YouTuber, if you guys don't know, you always doubt, like, are you still relevant? Like, even this year, my momentum is so weird to say this. I was ill for like 2 weeks after I got like quite a good bit of momentum in January. And I feel like that just derailed the last month or so. And I've been thinking so much like, oh, am I just done in terms of like growing? Have I hit the peak last year? And this is my fall as described by this Tiffany Ferg video. But although for me, it remains to be seen if I've hit the peak yet or not, it's pretty clear these anti-SJW YouTube channels are way past their peak now. And they are getting the stagnation, if not the downfall period of their YouTube channel's life cycle. And I just wanted to speculate on a couple reasons of why that might even be. And it begs the question, are these people actually suffering from success? Because Donald Trump is president, Republicans control all branches of government, Elon Musk and his cronies have taken a sledgehammer to the administrative state, and everything they've ever wanted is coming true. Even like corporations are backing down on the woke stuff because they want to get in bed with the Trump administration. Like they're cutting their DEI programs and everything to do with diversity, not because Trump made them. And I think in that context, how outraged can you be all the time, right? Of course, people are always going to be mad. The culture war is going to always go on. But if your side is like heavily crushing people for like diversity or like rolling back women's rights and LGBT rights, are people going to be seeking that content on YouTube about how the woke establishment is ruining video games and movies, especially when it becomes more evident that, yeah, the US government is screwing you. So in the US, your video games are going to go up massively in price regardless of their political affiliation or what politics the games contain themselves. We've seen this recently with the Switch 2 tariff stuff, that they're saying it might up the price by like $200 or something. And that's what their side are now doing. So in this context, there's less outrage towards like wokeness and liberals because liberals aren't that visible at the moment. Liberals are pathetic. Like the Democratic Party is absolutely pathetic. And whatever wokeness is still around, it's being attacked by like this massive kind of like government apparatus, which is rolling back all of these things. Like when you're winning and these things are actually happening that you wanted, I guess people are less likely to seek it out on YouTube to start like circle jerking about how mad they are, because why would you do that? You're not going to be as angry when you're winning. But also related to the Daily Wire video, a lot of these guys are a lot older, like they're in their 40s, right? And I feel like there comes a point in everyone's life that a lot of the things that you used to care about, you just don't really care about anymore, especially when it comes to like media consumption. You so don't care about the popular thing. So, you know, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers making a video about like, you know, Snow White failing or like walking out Snow White. When you're in your 40s, like, even if you're a conservative man, who really gives a fuck? Like, do you actually care? I haven't seen a Marvel movie in the cinema since the Avengers one, and I haven't even felt the need to go and watch another one, right? And you just kind of just stop caring. Like, even there's loads of shows I want to watch right now, and I'm thinking in my head, I got so much shit I have to catch up on. But I'm just so busy. I have no time to pay attention to, firstly, even watch the shows I want to watch, but to pay attention to this like insane culture war around it. Like, I know they hate the Snow White thing at the moment, but I only know that because that was a couple years ago, and because I follow the Daily Wire stuff, they were trying to make their own alternative to it. But it's like, you know, with, I want to watch Daredevil, I want to watch the Fallout show, I want to watch Shogun, I want to play all these video games. And
for either 10 nuggets or a Big Mac, fries, and a drink, and the adult collectible, $17 at my local McDonald's. Interesting collectibles, I would say. And also you get the codes to use in real Minecraft. Like, I'm going to have Hamburglar zombies walking around Minecraft and Grimace turds when I play this on Sunday, apparently.
DSP has been on an absolute heater this year. If you haven't kept up with him, because I don't really cover him, I haven't made a video about him in almost 2 years at this point. He has been bouncing around from controversy to controversy. Most recently, he had a huge spat with Triple P, who was buddy trolling him for like a year, and then he finally, you know, they severed ties. It's been a rough time, and now we're at the point in the 40-year-old man's arc that we're reviewing Happy Meals and Minecraft gift with purchase toys and discussing how we're gonna play with them a little bit later this weekend. That's the type of adult and fun and positive content that I know all of the DSP detractors would never fully be able to understand. So, and I guess I'll mention this at the beginning. I don't know what it is with a bunch of these characters. King Cobra just celebrated his birthday month, and DSP is celebrating his birthday weekend. I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know, like there has to be some sort of wire that's malfunctioning in your brain that makes you think that the wider internet audience is that intrigued in celebrating and worshiping you on your birthday. It's a bit confusing to me personally. I don't quite understand it. And it's even more perplexing once you are a 40-year-old married man who has to resort to playing with children's toys in order to garner some dinero, you know, put some money into the coffers for the king, baby. So we're gonna go over that live stream a little bit later, but first I'm going to discuss the McDonald's gaffe that went on. DSP basically begged for $900 in donations in order to get him to review the new Minecraft, McDonald's, Happy Meals, and whatever else. It's going to be a grand old time. We're going to have a blast.
This weekend, the Minecraft movie releases. And to time with the release of that movie, McDonald's has done a tie-in of stuff, including an adult and a child's meal. Apple wedges. That's right. I wanted to see what the apple slices are like. They are very warm. Wow. They are incredibly warm apple slices. I wonder if they were even refrigerated. Wow, this is awful. Not very good.
It's really funny. So, like, in case you're unaware, I like from time to time will keep up with what DSP is up to, see what's going on in the DSP verse. And he's quite interesting in my opinion. I don't know if it translates to my audience necessarily, but it's things like this where in what reality do you think that people are going to sit there? Now, there are people, but a wider audience of people would sit there and be like, yes, I really need to see what Phil thinks about this this hamburger he's eating and these warm apples he's consuming. Oh, it's bad? Here's a hot take. McDonald's has always been bad. All right, I don't understand. There's a lot of people out there who say, oh, I you know, a nice little treat getting McDonald's for myself. Nah, McDonald's is one of the worst fast food companies in my opinion. I think Wendy's blows it out of the water in almost every category. Sorry, you know, McDonald tards out there, they can't handle the truth, all right? And it's the fact that we have to sit and listen to this pro. Now, he obviously has this inflated ego from getting some amount of views of doing, you know, reviews as the king and, you know, consuming all this fast food. And, oh, man, the DoorDash driver took too long and my apples, they're not cold anymore. Oh, this sucks. I should call the corporate at McDonald's and complain because that's all I do all day long. But don't worry. It's going to get better, guys. He's going to eat the adult meal. That was for the little baby children, all right? The big boy meal, that's going to be a slam doink.
It's just okay. If there was more meat, it would taste a lot better. I primarily taste the bun, the cheese, and the Big Mac sauce. I barely taste any meat whatsoever. Imagine if you ordered a big hot dog, okay? You take your first bite, all you taste is relish, sauerkraut, mustard. That's it. You don't taste any hot dog meat. Unlimited amounts of their fries. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop eating the fries. I'll just eat all the fries again. Okay, that tastes nothing like chicken at all. Holy crap, that's flavorless.
Oh my God, guys, the chicken nuggets that cost $2 don't taste like real meat. No way. And I feel like that's kind of a consequence of a lot of these fast food places. The idea that you're gonna get a meal that feels very hearty, you know, you got that succulent meat flavor in your mouth. Ooh, Saturate loves getting that that succulent meat flavor down his mouth. The idea that you're gonna get something like that is just preposterous. You have like, I don't know, 1,000 burgers sitting in the freezer for a week, and you pull them out by some 16-year-old minimum wage worker. Seasoning? Never heard of that before. You pile them up on a bunch of stale pieces of bread, and you're supposed to sit there and be like, yep, this is supposed to be a delicacy. This is what I'm tuning in for. This is gonna be just a divine creation. I'm not too certain about that. So we move past that point. All right, DSP $900 to eat kids meals. I get it. Ha ha ha. We're laughing, but he decides to do the birthday stream, and the birthday stream's gonna be great. We're gonna do a lot of festivities. Let's hear what Phil has in store for his mid-40s birthday celebration in front of his 200 viewers online.
No lie, nothing's gonna get me down today. Today's gonna be nice and relaxing and fun. I don't care how many people try to troll and be stupid. It's gonna be a good day regardless. So I have a wide variety of shots left over. I've seen moonshine at the local liquor store tons of times, but I've never actually tasted it. The real moonshine, the stuff that'll put hair on your chest. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Old Smoky Blue Flame Moonshine.
Now, I know this horse has been beaten to death a million times about how can an alcoholic continue to drink alcohol and pretend like he's recovered or is in recovery, or however you want to phrase it, you know, storing all these extra liquors on the side. And the funny thing is, like, you know, right or wrong, we've seen the bank statements, we've seen the total wine and liquor purchases that Phil has constantly. He's drinking that gin nonstop. Now he's getting a very bad brand, in my opinion, of moonshine. I'm not a big moonshine guy, but Old Smoky, not really for me. Not really for me. It's kind of like the Smirnoff of vodkas, if you get my drift. Let's just mix different flavors in there, and you know, the young saps like Phil, they'll suck him right up, because he's just here to get wasted. He's here to just get absolutely bliss. That's his goal. It's his birthday. We're celebrating. And as a recovering alcoholic, how do you celebrate any better than a plethora of different liquor shots that you're gonna drink in front of a live audience and hope not to make a fool out of yourself?
Is to pace it out. So that way I'm kind of buzzed all day and having fun. I have snacks and things that I can have. I have like hummus and pita chips and little snacks and things that I can eat during the day. And hopefully they come out right. Because if not, then I guess I'm ordering out somewhere. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully it goes well. And if it goes well, great. And if not, no big deal. You still order something or whatever. Who knows? But hopefully it turns out well.
And Phil is like the biggest asshole out there. Like, every time you ever listen to him talk about somebody else doing something, in this reference, he's talking about his wife making him special themed meals for his birthday as he plays his little games with his mentally challenged donators online. And he decides that, hey, you know, if she really just fucks this up, she ruins it for me, that's no problem. I won't tough it out, you know. I won't say, you know, I won't lie to her, you know, to say, thanks, dear, this is delicious, even if you don't really think so, you know, that little give and take that you might have in a relationship to show your appreciation. Nah, I'll just throw that shit in the trash and I'll go buy a Little Caesars pizza. Holy shit, you know how demeaning that would be? I spend all day downstairs cooking for you. I bring it upstairs to you, you know, I'm making something I've never made before. Here you go, husband. I hope you really enjoy it. Disgusting. I'm gonna go eat a Little Caesars pizza instead, because I view that as better than your home cooked meal. It's just insulting. And the dude is like oblivious to it. He doesn't understand. What do you mean? You think I'm disrespectful to my wife? Yeah, you just said that you would, if it's not an immaculate, delicious meal fit for the king, you'll throw it in the trash to go buy a $5 Little Caesars hot and ready pizza. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, some people just have this simpleton mindset and they think that everything in the world is black and white and they can't even make simple comparisons between things to see the difference. I can't make you an intelligent person. That's on you. Okay? But thanks for the super chat. That is the biggest super chat so far today. It's just a shame that you had to say something stupid and negative and I had to kind of like call you out for it.
You remember like 5 seconds ago when Phil said this is going to be a positive environment. He's not going to let anybody, you know, interfere with him having a good time on stream. Well, here he is 5 minutes later crying and complaining because some troll asked him what I had already brought up about the liquor. How is a recovering alcoholic consume liquor on a frequent basis? That seems weird. Well, you're just a stupid troll. You don't understand. I only do it for these events. I never drink outside of this. Ah, Filbert. Filbert, my man, you're not gonna pull one over on me.
Here's my honest question, Evan. As I concluded out, what are you kidding me? Another $100 super chat? Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna try to stay conscious and end the stream. Just like last time, a month ago. For many years, I tried my best to make content that people cared about, that people would support. And I did get support, but I struggled regardless, right? I did. Look at my background. Look at my setup. Look at everything. This is a result of me going outside of my comfort zone.
And here's the thing. So I mentioned not too long ago about how Phil's big whales are mentally deficient, right? And, you know, maybe that's broad stroking it a bit too much, but it seems like if you watch the June the King documentary, he interacted with some of the big whales that would donate to Phil. A lot of them seem like, you know, they're struggling with some of those IQ points in certain areas. You know, we're strategizing where we're gonna put them, and it just so happens that most of those points are going into dollar bills into Phil's pocket. But he's over here talking about how hard he works, how much effort he puts in the content. Now, I'm not gonna sit on a soapbox and talk about how hard, you know, here's what a real YouTuber does, because I don't believe in any of that shit. But you have to be able to self-reflect a little bit, just a teensy bit, and look back at you taking a camera and recording your dog shit gameplay of you playing the newest Spider-Man and posting it on YouTube. That's not, you know, that's not some crazy artwork. You're not putting in the craziest hours to figure that out. You were just a little bit ahead of the curve, and then you fell unbelievably behind the curve and have been trying to catch up ever since, and we all know he's never going to.
Hey, I played some games, I built some Legos, we hung out, we had some food. It was a good time. I didn't beat anyone up. I didn't have to crap on anyone. That's how the world works. People are toxic, people are dramatic, people are vindictive. Doesn't have to lift a finger. The king just sits here on his throne and does what he loves to do, and everything goes perfectly according to plan.
It's like grandiose expectations in life. I mean, you know, Phil, let's not try and poke holes into your life story all that much, right? You know, going through bankruptcy, having no friends in your mid-40s, sitting inside all day, refusing to go outside to order your own food, having to spend all that money on somebody delivering it to you because you're too lazy, you're too afraid, you're too scared to go outside and interact with the real world. But you're so much better than the trolls. The trolls wish that they could have your life. They wish you could sit there and play horrible video games all day. You know, it's one of those things where, like, everybody has the potential to be great at doing something. It's just whether or not you'll put in the effort to try. And, like, maybe you don't reach those expectations or whatever, but you can have some fulfillment inside of you that, hey, you know, we put in that effort and we tried to be great. Maybe we didn't reach there. And, you know, both scenarios for Phil are kind of scary, whether he is not putting in effort and doesn't care because he's just trying to get a quick butt, or this is his best effort and this is the result of the content that we get, which is, oh boy, that's just scary from both sides.
My wife is my saving grace. My wife is the reason why I'm so happy. And now, of course, I'm getting emotional, but did you see how angry I was before I met Kat? You saw how angry I was, right? Kat is the reason why I'm not angry anymore. Because I'm happy. Everything before her was another life.
Go, go, go!
And everything since I met her has been the best life. And I wish that for all of you. I really do. That's why I think that so many people out there are in pain and are hateful and hate others and think it's okay to step on others. I gotta step on others to get ahead. I gotta hurt others to get ahead. Because you're not happy. Because if you were happy, you wouldn't want to crush others. You wouldn't need to crush others. Because you would be okay. Because my life is so much better because of my wife. And I feel bad that so many people don't have that.
This is just troll sympathy baiting, in case you're unaware. The crocodile tears, they're not catching me, buddy. I'm not seeing any cry. You know, your face isn't really changing that much. Just because you're in a drunken stupor and you're talking about potential feelings, I don't really think so. I think it's more so your attempt to try and paint the trolls as being these pathetic losers who they can't figure out their own lives. You know, they're just so angry all the time. Phil, you're not angry? The guy who has to put, money goals to drink liquor on his stream in order to make a financial basis to pay for his condo and to pay off some of his bankruptcy issues. That's a happy guy. He's having a grand old time. He's having an excellent time. Never mind, disregard some of the facts of, I don't want to get into it. I could say some things, but I won't. It's just like, he is so vindictive against his detractors and his trolls, and he loves the 100, 200 people that actually show interest in him. But the large majority of people that know about Phil or orbit him think he's just like a pathetic, vindictive, mean dude who has no sympathy towards people that air quote disrespect him, and he doesn't feel bad about any of the bad things that he's ever done in his past life. He doesn't really care as long as he keeps making that dinero, baby. Put some more money in the coffers for the king.
All you gotta do is open your wallets and get me to $3,000 of support tonight. What a discount. I'm shaving $500 right off the top. It's like Crazy Eddie. The prices are insane. Only $3K instead of $3,500. I will go shave my beard right now. So all I need, I'm not kidding, $1,100 of support right now. A tip, a super chat, or subs, and I will go shave right now. When all I did was have fun today and I made $1,903. I didn't have to hurt anyone. I didn't do any research for the show. I just had fun for you guys. The coffers have been filled, the taxes have been paid. We have hit another goal, like 10 goals today.
And that's what Phil's entire premise, his entire show is about. How much money can you send him? He doesn't really provide any interesting entertainment for you. He doesn't do anything too wacky or crazy. Mind you, this is a couple minutes after he is apparently bawling his eyes out about how happy he is that his wife has changed his life and how much different he is now than he is in the past, except everybody knows that it's the same old Phil. He'll never change. Send more money. Hey, can you send me $1,000 so I can shave my beard? Come on, guys. We got WWE Champions packs to open. Come on. Send more money to the king. Don't you feel bad for me? It's all that. It's all that. And then he's gonna respond later and say, how could people think that my emotions are not real? Some people respond in different ways. Where? DSP's crying. He's so sad. Oh, Filbert. This is the thing, I don't cover him a whole ton. I keep up with some of the things, and I just thought it was worthwhile. He fake cries on stream to garner sympathy so you can send him more money. Give him more money, he needs it. Oh man. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
I'm currently live on party.com/world of t-shirts.
You're planning on giving up. Do it now. If not, get
Another week has come and gone in the life of Nova Online, and a lot of the stuff he's done, well, you can expect it, like overindulging in a lot of takeout, complaining about trolls and his mother and his uncle, but other things you might not see coming, like the fact that Nova now has to go incognito, like go in disguise every time he wants to get on the bus now. And also, despite eating the copious amounts of food that we mentioned just a few seconds ago, Nova is not doing his reviews inside of restaurants anymore. He has gotten too afraid to be seen in public gorging on this food, so he's recording them now in his room, in his backyard, or a la Tofia and using a green screen to review the food after the fact. And this is all on top of Nova doing one of the dumbest things I think he possibly could have ever attempted to do. And he went ahead and did it. And that was him logging into Discord and just about 2 weeks ago going into the Discord channel of Gideon. Gideon, if you don't know, is a content creator who is mainly known for his predator catching. So Nova goes in there and he pings Gideon and says, "Yo, I turned 21 in 2 months. Can I still apply to be a decoy? Sorry for the ping." And it's so creepy, right? Seeing somebody who's like a known internet predator trying to go into this guy who catches predators channel and be like, "Hey, I'm trying to help you out, bud. Let's take down the bad guys." Now, to put this into perspective a little bit, just like 6 months ago, Nova was talking to his 15-year-old co-host over DMs, telling them that "you're mine, you're my girl." He was being flirty with his co-host to the point where she just felt uncomfortable being around him. I thought it was one of the most sinister things Nova's ever done to talk to a 15-year-old like this, to be like, "You're my girl." And for her to be like, "No, I'm not, don't say that." And for him to just kind of, why not? Like, why are you not my girl? And now he's in here. Now he's in here being like, "Yo, I turned 21 in 2 months. Can I still apply to be a decoy? Let's take down some pedos, bro." Doesn't work like that, Nova. And now he's taking the White Bowser or Cyrax approach and pretending that, "Oh, all this predator stuff, it never happened. I'm actually strictly anti-predator, and I'm gonna help people go after them," which is all well and good if you're not a predator yourself, Nova. And that's what makes these people some of the most creepy and the most, troubling online, because they don't understand that they are a problem. In Nova's head, he's like, "Oh shit, I did that. The whole internet knows, but I just have to pretend that everyone's a liar and deny, and block anybody who says that I am." And he tries to then just be like, "Hey, it's me, Nova the food reviewer. Nothing else to see here, guys. Just a food reviewer wearing sunglasses as to not get noticed in public. Why is that? I don't know. Definitely can't be for any of the shit I've done online in the past few years." And so that's basically what you're gonna see today. A man trying to LARP as somebody who's not a predator online, going about life and making TikToks while trying to beat into his own head to stay completely oblivious to anything the internet is saying about him. In his mind, they're all just talking about how great his Wingstop review is, not how creepy he was in his DMs with a 15-year-old. One of the biggest struggles in Nova's life right now is, of course, his everlasting job search. Nova is talking about how he's going through job withdrawal and how he desperately needs a new one to make some money, but he's not doing anything to find that job. He was ranting last week about his mom having the nerve to wake him up after only getting 6 hours of sleep. By God, the torture. And this week, he's just doing a lot of karaoke, doing a lot of food reviews, and as you'll come to see, buying a lot of unnecessary shit. I don't care what Nova does with his money, but to sit here and cry about not having any and going through job withdrawal in the process makes me go, yeah, maybe those packs of Yu-Gi-Oh cards weren't so necessary. Maybe the Michael Jackson Thriller on vinyl wasn't necessary. Maybe 2 prime ribs from 2 different restaurants wasn't fucking necessary. But in his mind, this is all for his content. People come to Nova to see the stuff he gets. People come to Nova to see the food he eats. And there's no other reason they come here. There's a few trolls here and there maybe, but for the most part, they're all just here to see all of his cool stuff. And this is all stuff, by the way, that's just going to inevitably end up in the giant trash pile in his room. room. You know, the one that he's been trying to clear out for weeks now with a snow shovel of all things. Every single item that is inside the vicinity of Nova's room will inevitably end up in that pile. So all those, the food containers of the food he gets, he just leaves it there in his room. Cans, empty cans and shit, it'll all just sit in his room for years to come and wallow away with Nova himself. So with that all finally being said, let's see what he's been up to on TikTok this week.
So I went to a Vietnamese restaurant after a job interview and the gym, and I figured that I would rate the food I had there. I would have filmed at the restaurant, but I did not feel comfortable filming inside. So here is the rating of the two things that I tried at that Vietnamese restaurant. First up was char siu pork with ginger and hot mustard sauce. It was pretty good. The pork was dry, but the hot mustard definitely made up for it. It was super good. 7.5 out of 10. Now this is beef brisket, and I think there was either chicken or pork in it. Pho. It came with like bean sprouts, daikon radish, basil, which wasn't good, cilantro, jalapeno, lots of stuff. And this was the best pho I've ever had. Super flavorful. And the meat was just so tender, and the rice noodles had the just perfect amount of chew to it. Easily a 9.5 out of 10. Anyways, Nova Universe, Sonic.
So I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that Nova's been getting a lot of weird looks when he does his reviews inside of a restaurant, and that has just become too much for him. I'd like to imagine that the chef came over and was just like, yeah, like, knock it the fuck off. Like, a man with a palate as messed up and distorted as yours is should not be reviewing any types of food. But this is what Nova does. He thinks people are like kind of zoned in and like, holy shit, like, what does he think about the pork? What does he think about the pork? Because if it's good, I'm flying to Coeur d'Alene to get it. Nova then posted this picture. This isn't a TikTok, it's just a picture of half of his head looking over, kind of just looking right at you, kind of creepy. But at the top there, you can see it says, I miss being employed. Nova misses it so much in fact that he hasn't looked for another job in weeks and has just been eating food on camera. It's very clear to me that he wants the food reviews. He wants his TikTok to be his full-time job. But considering what we talked about earlier, you know, the predator stuff, people aren't letting that happen. So he goes out and looks for another job, and it turns out that he has a terrible work ethic and gets fired from there shortly afterwards as well. But when he says these things, like, I miss being employed, like I'm going through job withdrawal, he says it just so people get off his back. He thinks if he says, oh, I'm trying, I miss having a job so much, I wish I could be out there in the workforce and not just sitting here gorging myself on prime rib, well then hopefully people will go, man, that guy is driven. We can see it in him. He really wants to get back out there and work. He definitely doesn't want to be sitting here showing off his little trinkets that he's making. But he absolutely does just want to sit there and keep making his little bracelets. And that's something I haven't touched on in the video, but Nova has tried starting a business, a paracord bracelet business, where he sells these bracelets to people that have no discernible quality other than, hey, it's a bracelet made by some online pedophile. And sadly, a few weirdos are buying these, and if you're one of those people, just know you're supporting a predator. So, and also a brilliant point made by my co-host Kiwi Tapes every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time over on his channel for Too High for Stupid, our podcast, by the way. It'll be live tomorrow night. But he brought up the fact that Nova has a really bad habit of clicking links that he shouldn't. It's why Nova lost his original TikTok page that he so desperately wanted to get back. So all these people who have bought Nova's paracords are going to be in for a very rude awakening the day he clicks on another link that he's not supposed to.
Hey, 18 plus fans. So this is for interested buyers in the paracord shop. What weaves do you want to see on the paracord shop? Right now, the only weave I'm selling is the Cobra weave, which is the easiest paracord weave to do. So I'm trying to learn the fishtail, and I'm also trying to learn the snake knot and with the Mad Max closures. But the thing is, I'm having trouble with those weaves. So if you guys want me to hurry the hell up and learn the fishtail, I will. But for now, just let me know what weaves you want to see on the shop, and I'll practice them and nail them. Anyways, yeah, this is such a massive commitment to the shop, and if I add more weaves, I'm pretty sure sales are going to go through the roof. So, we'll see what happens. Let me know what y'all think.
He starts a lot of his TikToks by saying, hey, 18 plus fans, and I don't know why he does that. Number one, considering he doesn't have any fans at all. Number two, considering like he believes he has this large group of fans who are under 18, and that's because it's all he talks to in Discord. And he'll go out of his way to have minors in his Discord, and when pressed on it, he won't even delete the server. Do you remember when that happened? People called Nova out a few months back for having a server with tons of minors in it, and he so desperately did not want to get rid of it, to the point where he just locked it down and said, well, you know, we'll keep it here for later use, which is such a creepy-ass thing to do. But in his mind, he looks like not a creep if when talking about serious stuff like his business ventures and his bracelet shop, when he's talking about that, he'll make sure to mention that this is only for 18 plus fans, but he has no problem talking to minors in his server about weird shit like diapers and age play. But he doesn't want you to think about that. He wants you to only worry about his paracord shop, where he's selling these cheap little bracelets.
This is the double protein plate from Panda Express, and we're gonna try it. May I just mention, this thing is absolutely massive. I mean, look at how much chicken they gave me. Who did they think they are? That Hong Kong Express place in Westminster, LA? If you don't know who they are, they went viral for giving out absolutely massive portions in their meals. But before we try out the plate, let's try out this drink. It's a watermelon mango refresher. Very refreshing and not too sweet, which I like. Now the plate. We're not going to add any soy sauce to it to not divert the original flavor. But the sides, it comes with super greens.
In the red. It's now or never.
One of the most underrated things at Panda. And they would normally come with white rice, but I decided to get chow mein instead. I still think the fried rice is better, though. And now finally, the grilled chicken. Yeah, this double protein plate is so good for Panda. Also, guys, Nova Court update coming within the next week, and I am very excited to announce it. Nova Universe is signing off.
So really, these food reviews, I guarantee you, are just an excuse to tell his mom, listen, I'm ordering like a double protein portion from Panda. And she's probably like, Gabe, you do not need that. You do not need to order out yet again. And he's like, oh my fucking God, Mom. I need to so the internet can see my review on it. And honestly, I am 99% sure that's what his content is. This is all just one big excuse so his mom can't call him out for the large amounts of food that he keeps ordering to the house. Nova keeps saying he's going to the gym and, you know, he's doing a good job burning off the calories. However, he went to the gym last week, live streamed it, worked out for all of 8 minutes and ended the stream and said he'll do the rest of his workouts off camera. And now he's doing all of his workouts off camera because he doesn't want to show you that anymore. He has no problem showing you the food review videos and him eating them, but him going to the gym, something he's so driven and adamant to do, from his own mouth, by the way, he said that he wants to keep doing this gym journey. He gave up on that after 8 minutes. And, you know, it'd be fine if he's honest with himself, but to say, oh no, I'm continuing the journey off camera is just bullshit. And that's all Gabe's content is. Lies. Like, this is not a food review. This is just a man having his dinner on camera and recording it so he has an excuse to eat it. It's as cut and dry as that.
Josephine placed a Nova Cord paracord order. Let's ship it out. I call this the pink and hot pink attack. So, it's kind of a spoof on Pink and Black Attack, which was what Bret Hart was called. But hey, you got a pink and hot pink bracelet. This is abso-freaking-lutely beautiful, and I just love the way it turned out. And since your order got picked to be filmed, I'm throwing in a full-size keychain. Now, I would have done one of those little keychains that I normally put in for free, but I decided to be generous and give you a full-size one with a purple carabiner. This is going to Houston, and I am a huge fan of the Texans, but not the Astros. Screw the Astros. Oh, I almost forgot. The signed business card with my full signature. Stick.
We want to have as many bees as we can to make honey.
At Secret Garden Bees, a honey farm in Linden, North Carolina, farmer Jim Hartman has one eye on his bees and the other on his bank account.
Ideally, we'll get 100 pounds of honey per hive per year.
How do you feel about paying more for things?
Well, you know, if you find someone who says, I'm happy about paying more for something, you point them out to me. People who already couldn't afford fresh vegetables, who couldn't already afford to put good food on their plate, are the ones that are really going to be hurt by this.
Did you ever think when you voted for President Trump that things were going to cost you more and you were going to lose money?
I never thought I was going to lose this much money, this fast.
Jim is a Republican who voted for Donald Trump 3 times.
How do you feel about your vote for Donald Trump now?
Well, I feel like perhaps I should have considered some other options.
Among other things, Jim imports packaging supplies for...
I'm sorry, hard to not. This hits like crack, dude. Like, bitch, you voted for him thrice, you know? Fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Well, can't fool me again. Fool me 3 times, the peace sign. Take the chopper out. Or whatever the he said. Not GW, I'm talking J. Cole. Did you say white? You said I'm white for not knowing a J. Cole lyric? Knowing the J. Cole lyric is a infinitely whiter trait than not knowing it.
For his honey, so he's paying real close attention to the tariffs Trump just put in place.
We just bought our year's supply of bottles from Taiwan and our year's supply of corks from Portugal about 3 weeks ago. So that would have been, another 5,000 or 6,000 out of my pocket.
Which is partly why he's repairing instead of replacing this 40-year-old forklift.
The cost of equipment has just gone through the roof to buy anything like that because it just would be cost prohibitive.
He's also holding off on improvements around the farm.
Well, we're not going to hire any more people, that's for sure.
It's more than just the tariffs. For the past 2 years, Jim has been selling honey to the federal government, which then provides it to schools and food banks. But after Donald Trump took office, the USDA cut those programs suddenly as part of the federal government's effort to streamline spending.
For a lot of other local farmers around here, it was a major source of reliable revenue. For me, it's going to cost me around $150,000 a year.
$150,000?
Yeah, roughly 50% of my revenue.
That's a huge hit.
That's a massive hit.
Not far from Jim's farm, we...
Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro. Oh my God. That's hilarious. Dude. Oh, come on. This hits good. This hits good. After all the awful... After all the awful shit that we just watched, like, this kind of hits... This hits like crack cocaine, you know what I mean? God damn. I've yet to meet a man more deserving of this. I just wish there was a way to make only this happen. You know what I mean? For every dollar out of the $150,000 that guy loses, though, there's like a million other people that are over way worse. There is something hilarious about being a guy who relies on federal government subsidies, voting 3 times for a dude who goes, I'm gonna take away the subsidy. No more government handouts. It's like your uncle living in West Virginia who's getting disability payments being like, I hate these welfare queens. Like, it's like, dude, you are the welfare queen. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you voted for Trump. He's gonna take your disability away. You're gonna die. You might as well get back on fentanyl now because you're cooked, big dog. Might as well get right on that opium straight from the street because you're gonna die anyway because you voted for a guy who wants to kill you. What are we doing? You're not part of the team, little bro. You're not. What made you think you were a part of the team? Oh, because he's gonna do this to brown people? No, he hates the poor, dumbass, and you are one.
Found other Trump supporters who give the president high marks on tariffs. How do you feel about the tariffs?
Well, I feel like for years we've been getting ripped off, and why not make it fair? 0-0. And I think Trump was upfront about it. He said we're going to hurt some now.
I think some of the countries they're already starting to come around. It's going to be good. I really believe that.
Yep. No, I try so hard not to be libbed up and be like one of those people that's like, well, you're suffering and you kind of deserve it. But goddamn, these kinds of pieces make it impossible, dude. It's just, I want this analysis almost exclusively from Asmongold chatters. Like, I want some journalists to go up to Asmongold chatters and be like, so what do you think right now? It seems that the hentai that you consume is now either A, illegal in the state of Texas, or B, tariffed out the wazoo. How do you feel? He's like, oh, well, one day it's going to be all right because America's going to be good, I think. Yeah, boys.
You have faith in Trump?
Yes, I do.
I think he's doing the right thing. In order for us to get back where we need to be, he needs to get the money somewhere, and they're charging us. Why not charge them?
Back at Jim's farm, though, still plenty of work.
What are you saying, bro? What? You've been alive for so many years, you haven't even been you accidentally haven't even encountered the truth? How is it possible? These people are so easy to dupe, man. None of them know how tariffs work. None of them care to understand it. None of them care to understand the impact. When it starts hitting their wallets, at least the small business owner kind of understands directly who's over, right? At least this business owner understands it, partially because $150,000 of revenue, which is 50% of his yearly earnings. Well, that's pretty significant. When that goes away directly because the federal government no longer has that program, you're like, okay, well, you f***ed me big time. You piece of you destroyed my life. But for a lot of these other people, they're just going to see prices go up on everything, partially because of the tariffs and partially because of market competition. Other companies, even domestically manufactured companies, are most likely going to increase their prices as well because they can get away with it. That's just how it works. Sorry, sucks to suck. God forbid we have any sort of regulation surrounding that thing. That would be communism. Can't have that. And I don't think they're going to understand who did this to them. They're not going to go, oh, maybe Trump's moves were responsible for my current financial predicaments. They'll just go, yeah, it's because he hasn't killed enough gay people or something.
He says raw honey is considered a luxury good, similar to organic vegetables. As prices rise,
I don't know what that's going to do to consumer spending.
Trump paused the majority of the tariffs for 90 days after we'd left Jim's farm. Jim told us by phone, it's flip-flopped so many times you can't take it to the bank. Who knows what it will be next week, adding, it seems like he's heard the American...
No, it'll just be unlimited xenophobia. Yeah, those guys are probably going to think, it's the Chinese. How dare the Chinese do this to me? I can see that. Don't blame China. God, people are so stupid. I have no... I lose the remaining empathy that I have for these... Read if you can. My uncle in West Virginia died on welfare, had an addiction to opium, was the cause of death. You're not wrong, but true sucks, but this is the reality as people hits home. Yeah. The thing is, even for domestically manufactured goods, the way that global trade is designed, there are so many parts of the domestically manufactured goods that will have their prices increase because every aspect of trade touches different parts of the planet. Think about your computer for a second. Every business needs computer parts. Every business needs computers, okay? Just that alone. Think about what that does. Think about where your GPU, all the different parts of your GPU come from. Think about all the different parts where your CPU, all the parts, the components that make up your CPU, where that comes from. The minerals necessary that need to be extracted from different parts of the planet, assembled in a manufacturing plant in most likely China. The chips are made in Taiwan. Dude, there is no way to apply universal tariffs at 10% and not assume that even domestic goods are not going to go up in price. Everything will go up in price.
People. Randy Kay, CNN, Linden, North Carolina.
Everything's computer. Everything. I love Tesla. Everything's computer.
Volatility and uncertainty brought on by the trade war that we were just talking about. You know, we've got China announcing it's raising retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods from 84% to 25%. That coming after President Trump hiked the rate of Chinese goods, the rate on Chinese goods coming into America from 104% now to 145%. All of that, creating so much uncertainty, is having a real and immediate impact on businesses big and small across the country. One small business owner joined us on the show just yesterday describing how the daily chaos and the changes in policy have left her with no good options.
It's hard to make a decision. You know, we had an idea yesterday after the announcement of, well, maybe we can export to Australia, repackage the products, and then re-import them from there. But because policy changes every 36 hours or so, I don't want to make that decision and make that move only for something else to change in just a couple more days. I'm paralyzed. I can't even make a decision.
Yeah, I was surprised when this person said Hassan Abihed confirmed and he said yes. I doubt that this person is actually Hassan Abihed. Spencer Hakimian, founder of Tulu Capital Management, global macro market neutral, risk optimization, aiming for positive real returns in all climates, not investment advice. I think he's just like, I'd be shocked if this guy is actually in here all the time. I think he just says yes to people responding. He doesn't even follow me.
Decision right now.
Paralyzed. Another big area of concern is what this means for American farmers, of course. China is, among other things, the biggest export market for American soybeans. China bought 52% of American soybean exports last year, throwing American soybean farmers, understandably, into a whole new level of uncertainty right now. And joining me right now is Scott Metzger. He's a soybean farmer out of Ohio, also serves on the board of directors for the American Soybean Association. Scott, thank you very much for...
What do we do? The f do we do? So much winning. We'll never stop winning. I mean, look at him. He's mad. He is big mad.
For waking up and taking time to speak with me this morning. This
smiling through the pain.
I was looking forward to getting your take yesterday afternoon, and now we have this new change overnight coming from China announcing 125% tariff on all U.S. goods coming in.
Yeah, I mean, look, these guys would probably get bailouts, but that's not going to be enough anyway. And you can't bail out the entire economy. What do you do for the consumers, you know?
Includes on soybeans. What does this tariff on this new level of tariff on your produce mean for you?
Good morning, Kate. Yeah, it's an alarming concern. You know, with the tighter farm economy that we're in now, the tariffs are just adding issues to problems that we already have. We want to. It's just making it more complex and making it harder to make decisions on what we need to do.
I've heard the word complex from a couple farmers actually as well. It's already a complicated situation, and now it's becoming even more complex. I mean, you're, I believe, a sixth-generation farmer, farming with your brother and cousins. How does this moment feel for you?
Well, you know, we never have, going back to 2018. We really haven't recovered from the tariff trade wars back then, and you know we were probably 40% higher on soybean prices back then, and the farm economy in general was a lot better back then. So you go forward to now with what we are, and you know, a lot tighter farm economy, and complex, and adding these tariffs to it, it makes things really difficult. You know, a fear that we have, if this continues into the fall or even into next year, you know, there's a potential that, you know, there'll be some farms go out of business. You know, you could have the next generation not want to come back or not able to come back just because of the the economies or the farm situation in general. And adding these tariffs to this, you know, there's just no room for error. But personally, in our operation in the state of Ohio last year, we were in extreme drought, and we roughly had half of a soybean crop and a corn crop last year.
How about now? Anything? All right. How are you? Happy Friday. Oh. No, I'm doing all right. Yeah, same old kind of thing. Yeah, no, I'm doing all right. Didn't have a very eventful day. Just same old deal, pretty much. Yeah, well, yeah, I fill up my day, man. I don't know, it just happens. Like, you know, the workout thing really does take up pretty much the beginning of the day. I do that 3 days a week, and that gets me to lunch, and then I eat lunch, and then I take the dog for a walk, and then I fuck around for a little while. I might run an errand, and then Rachel comes home, I take a nap, and then I have to make dinner, and then I get a little time for base and Call of Duty. That's my day. It fills up. No, it's all right. Anyway, oh, jeez, we gotta get this. We gotta get these guys juiced, man. We had a shit show of ending last night. Fuck, that sucked. I love how we were like sitting up on the hill, just being like, "Wow, look at the view, man. We're totally, we got this, no problem." Jesus, I mean, I wonder if we should always get to higher ground even when we're on higher ground. You know what I mean? Like we probably should have been up. I guess we should have been up a little bit. Yeah. I heard it, and I heard it coming for about 2 seconds before it arrived, and I think I got a thermite off on the windshield, but it didn't fucking stop them at all. Yeah. It was messed up. Anyway. Juice run. Yep, I'm ready. That's some money for plates. Yeah, we need a key. Yep. Yeah, no shit. That's the lesson there, man. That was probably I don't know, like the most comfortable I felt at an exfil to then die at the exfil. It is. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 They were like a murder machine squad, man. Did you move your mic away from your face a little bit? Because you kind of got a little quiet. I can still hear you. It's just you got very soft. Okay, now it's good. Oh man.
Welcome to Al Mazrah.
We're on a boat.
Exploring, looting, and securing
Check, check.
intel will open access to missions
On a
and
boat.
targets.
Usually good stuff on
Resistance
boats.
from local forces and watch
Those
for other
lockers.
operators in the AO.
All right. Where's the nearest? Okay, there is a shop kind of on the way to the exfil. Here. Exfil.
Extract point.
Yeah, yep. So why don't we loot the boat, then head that way to the shop. Yeah, I actually got on earlier today, which I almost never do. It's like I gotta do my challenges because I want to keep going with DMZ. Plate. I'll take a plate. Do you need a 2-plate vest?
Homosexual here.
There's I just dropped I got a 3-plate in this locker and I just dropped my 2-plate. Yeah. We need these things to win. Must be juicy. So there's bandages, toothpaste. Bandages. One thing about these boats is it does take a while to kind of loot the whole thing because you got to go upstairs and sometimes parts of it are underwater. Do you already loot the second floor?
Marking enemy fighter. Enemy fighter here. Marking enemy fighter.
Okay. Hey, look. We can just there. Alright. Okay, I'll be done in a second. Not too much really on this boat, presently, for the vest. Okay. Yeah, well, why don't we murder him? On the count. All right, I'm ready.
Enemy fighter here.
I think I got 2 on 1.
Fighter.
Holy shit, that was awesome. Oh. Yeah. Alright, that's what yeah, try to flip up on the side. Some dudes off to the side. Nice. I got 2 guys on 1 shot.
Marking enemy sight.
Semtex! I'm taking fire!
on, dude. I'm shooting at a guy on the ground. Oh.
Ultra One, activity has increased in the
Play it
area.
up if you
Keep your
can.
eyes open.
Oh, you're out. Okay. All right. All right. Coming to you. Somebody shooting, getting around this building. You hear a boat? Or a truck? Oh, there's a guy.
Moving.
Eyes on an enemy fighter.
What's that?
Moving.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'll come to you. I probably could use some ammo.
We have an ammo box here.
Ultra One,
Here.
you've got hostile reinforcements.
Here, let me give you a
incoming.
plate. Yeah, I got a few. Ooh, police key. Alright. I'm doing alright. I'm just looting building here. Oh, here. Alright. Alright. Alright.
Ultra One, activity is increasing near your location. Stay alert.
Alright. Here, let me give you a plate. Alright. There's plates here. There's a plate. There's a plate over here. Yeah, actually, but alright. Okay, there's a guy on me, so I can't go right now. He's back here. There, he's down it.
Taking effective fire.
Another plate here. And here. Oh shit, I only got one plate. I guess I should take one. Well, I got a 3-plate vest now. I got 2 extras. Alright, you need a medium backpack or not? There's 2 over here. You got one. Alright, cool. Okay, and I got one more locker to loot. Okay. How many lockers? Alright. So what's the plan? Got. Okay.
Enemy fighter here.
Alright.
Marking enemy fighter. Moving here. Enemy fighter here.
Uh-oh, car. I thought I heard a car. Oh, good idea. They're over there down here.
Mark. Took out their bike.
How much was the self-revive?
Moving. Taking effective fire.
The fuck am I? That's not even a person, is it? A person. Alright, yeah. Oh.
Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming.
Loading AP rounds.
Ultra One, enemy threat is moderate near your location.
Sounds good. Still looking for keys.
Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming.
This. No.
Self-revive kit here.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. I don't have a self-revive. I can use that.
Enemy fighter here. Taking effective fire.
I've got 6, so I'm alright. Good for the moment. Uh-oh. Chopper.
Armor here!
Yeah. Hear a lot of footsteps.
We're seeing activity in the area. Stay sharp.
I need mid-caliber rounds.
Taking effective fire.
Hey! No thanks!
No, I don't. Just pick up another gun, maybe. Pick up an enemy gun.
Taking effective fire!
There, he's dead.
I need
Taking
mid-caliber
effective
rounds.
fire.
Good loot here.
Stow it? Yeah. Stow it. Sweet. Alright, so what do you want to do? You want to go pick up his gun?
Armor here.
Shit. Over there. Alright. Yeah. Alright, I'm on.
Inbound at this time.
Alright. Alright.
Ultra One, Dino Force inbound for extraction. We're 2 clicks out.
Oh!
Ultra One, enemy threat appears low in this area. Ultra One, be advised. Threat level is high in this AO. Expect contact.
Well, it'll be a little harder to hit if we're moving fast. Oops. Oh.
Ultra One, Dino 4. We're approaching the LZ. Get it secure.
Can you ride that thing right into the back? That'd be funny. Try it.
Dino 4 to actual. All objectives
It's fun to try.
secure. We're RTV at this time.
Got some money, got a key, got a medium backpack, got a self-revive. I'm happy with that. If you're up for it, I could do one more. Still need to get an embassy key. I did get a police station key, which I'm kind of excited about because I need AQ laptops, and I guess they're often found in police stations. Police station. First, you have to predict when you're going to end up by the police station, and that's him. Yeah, I'm going to take a... Yeah, I'm going to juice up a guy, Bryce, and get him a vest or something. Backpack. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, all right. I'm good. Rachel was telling me that she thought she heard that Marjorie Taylor Greene might have did a little bit of unfair investing, you know, based off of insider information. Yeah. Yep, that's what I heard. You heard that too? I can't. Yeah. Totally. Dude. Yeah. I mean, no, yeah, I don't know if you were going to say that it's, you know, distracting from the other atrocities, like they're, you know, just fucking deporting people and attacking universities and basically trying to, you know, hold the blue states hostage in this, you know, we're not going to give you money. Yeah. I mean, like, just basically declaring war on Americans who didn't vote for him. Just totally unpatriotic. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Great. Mm. Uh. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Welcome to Al Mazrah. Explore, secure intel, and loot to gain access to new missions. Enemy threat is high, so expect contact.
Ooh, oh, okay, so we're gonna be near the police station, but of course I didn't bring the key in. Police station is so fucking close. It's right there. There's a shop really close to us too. Let's go to the shop first, though. All right.
Ultra One, enemy threat is moderate in the AO.
You know, maybe we ought to not go to the police station because I don't have a fucking key and it's probably going to be a waste of time. So let's not do that. We'll just... Yeah. Oh shit, dude, there's a guy in there. Players in there. I'm down. He was waiting. He was waiting. Yeah. Yeah, well, we can go in again. I mean, we didn't really... All I lost was a couple $1,000. After that, you're done? No, I don't really... Yeah, I think I am as well. Pretty sure. Alright. Spanked. Let's just send you off with a nice spanking. Alright, it sounds good. Alright, man. Good games. Got some juice happening. Alright, will do, man. Alright.